Good morning, traders. So, how do we trade the Dow Jones today? Okay, we're still using the Bull-Williams theory, and yeah, I made a little bit of a boo-boo yesterday by getting out a little bit too quick, but yeah, I had my reasons, and I'll run through those now. So it doesn't really bug me. Can't dwell on what we missed out on, but and I wasn't even aware that the Feds had a speech coming out. So that's what basically drove the market. The Feds came out dovish, and they haven't been dovish for quite some time. So that's what hammered the dollar and drove the markets yesterday. And then at the same time, Trump may be getting some sense in his head around the trade war, and looking at auto tariffs and things like that, which are affecting GM and a couple of other companies anyway. So be that as it may, starting on the weekly. At this stage, we have a massive inside bar, and it doesn't really matter if we pull back. Even if we do pull back today and tomorrow, that is still a big weekly inside bar. Okay, and it's a gap up weekly bar. That is a very bullish signal. Now, the concern that I do have is that we are coming up to the alligator here, the underside of the alligator. So that's going to be rather telling. And but if you look at all the other oscillators here, everything is indicating that we have a potential turn. Okay, so looking at the daily, yesterday I would have expected us, to be honest, to sort of tag this area, which is the 200 moving average, and then come off. That hasn't materialized. What we do have here is between this fractal and this level here, we've got continuation diversions brewing for a move to the downside. Okay, we do have some upward momentum, but we are below the zero here, which is still, we are still in a downtrend. Okay, it's just a very volatile downtrend. So, in saying that, I just want to do the other thing, and again, I just really want to highlight to you the power of the inside tail. Okay, so hindsight being a perfect science, obviously, but there is an inside tail. You see there's a tail on the daily, and there's a 200 moving average here, but there's also an inside tail there. So I just want to leave those levels. You can see that's the one that we tagged, and that's ultimately where everybody was aiming for, that we're running on this bull run yesterday. They got out, took profit at that level. Okay, now if I look to the left, you'll see it lines up with a couple of other tails, and a couple of opening bars. And if we run even further, you see more tails, more tails, more tails. Okay, so point I'm making here is when you're drawing your support and resistance line in, look for the inside bar, and then especially inside bars that do line up with a lot of other tails. Okay, that is normally a pretty solid level. Okay, zoom out a bit. So 4 hour, you can see we are quite some way away from the alligator. Okay, we are also on the 200 moving average here, and you can see how we blasted through on the 4 hour. We blasted through this inside tail here, straight up to the 200 moving average before we took a little bit of profit. Some profit taking, and then I still carried on driving it higher. So yeah, but my view of it, we should only be looking for longs at the moment, but we do have a potential trend change with this, is still intact. Obviously now what I'm looking for is another entry point. This long candle here could be an exhaustion bar, and then now we're going to taper off and then either go sideways while the moving averages catch up, or we do a gentle pullback. It could be as gentle as to the 200 moving average here, and then rally away again. So look at the 1 hour. I'll give you I got out just before the open, literally about 2 minutes before the open, and which was sort of kind of in this area here. Okay. Now, what I was expecting to happen is I was expecting it to come back and tag the lower areas here. Okay, that's what I was kind of expecting. So I got out of this area. I was expecting it to just come back down here and form some kind of a pattern for me to get in. And the mistake I made is that I was actually toying around on a lower time frame. I'll show you what I mean. So I was toying around with a lower time frame here. That was in this area here, and saying this doesn't look very healthy. I think I'm gonna get out of this before the open, which was a mistake. I should have stayed in this and had my stop below here. Well, my stop was below this. I had moved my stop up here, but anyway, be that as may, can't get it right all the time, and sometimes emotion does take over, and that's exactly what happened yesterday. A fear of losing what I had. So, what are we looking? I'm still looking at longs. The question is just at what point are we going to be going long? Do we see a pullback coming? I would expect some kind of a consolidation. This could be consolidating now. And I think the easiest way to do this is get onto sort of a half hour, and you can see the half hours already grouped to the downside. And now pay attention to your fractals. Okay. So a break below this fractal right now would be below the alligator, and that would be bearish. Okay. So that's the first thing. This fractal break would be bearish. We are busy forming another fractal here. So at this stage, that is the fractal break there. However, it's not a bearish signal because it did not drop below the red line, the teeth. Okay, so price is not below the teeth. So the break of the fractal is not below the teeth. Okay, so if the teeth here was way up here, it would be a valid short signal. At this stage, that's just consolidation. Even if this fractal turns out to be correct, it may be below in 2 bars, or it may not. It'll be flat. So it's not a valid signal at this stage. This is the only valid signal that would trigger a short, is this one here. Okay, so in other words, what I'm telling you is this is your most logical point for a stop loss. So if you come down to any sort of lower time frames here, that's the area that you're looking to put your stop in. Okay, but if you look at the lower time frames, we are now breaking fractals below the alligator. See that? We broke this fractal, which is below the alligator. Although if you traded that, you'd actually be stopped out, because you would have a stop, you'd have a trade here. Oh no, you wouldn't be, sorry, because your stop would be above this fractal. Okay, but you would be looking to move your stop below this fractal, and this fractal is now breaking above the alligator. So now, there we go. That's what it triggered your stop. Anyway, looking at the awesome oscillator, there's nothing going on at the moment. So I think the wisest thing to do here is wait for the European Open and then have a look at what you're going to be doing. Okay, so this would be my most logical stop area at the moment. So if you are still long, essentially what you would want to do is move your stop up to this level, sort of 2 or 3 points below the fractal here. Move your stop up to there, and now wait and see what transpires today. I still think we're going to get longs. The only question is from where. So, do we take it from up here? We could jump in here if you wanted to and keep a stop here, but I've often seen this thing just come back, just to come and collect the stops and then rally again. So watch the 1 hour for now, I would suggest, and just pick it up from that level. Okay, if we were trading 1 hour fractals, you can see your stop is down here. But I can't see it reversing all of that at this stage. Okay, last thing, just want to, I can't even see us pulling back this far to the 200 moving average. But I can see us pulling back to the 4 hour 200. Okay, so that's kind of the way I look at it at the moment. And then I think before I shut down, let's just have a quick look at the ichimoku. Okay, so ichimoku 4 hour has broken through the cloud. Now, runaway breaks are very rare on ichimoku, so you often see price sort of come back and test the break. Now, just bear in mind that it can come and test the cloud here or down here. Okay, we've got a twist, which is very bullish. We've got a crossover, which is bullish, and we broke through price here, which is bullish. So for me, I would look for a pullback, and there is sort of a, I want to get so be from there. So there is 18 bars. Okay, so on the 4 hour, another 2-3 bars, and then I would expect something to happen, either a break higher or a bit of a reversal to pull back. And the reversal is what I'm looking for. Okay, so because I'm out the market at the moment, I will wait for a decent pullback. If we look at the daily, you'll see we are still bearish. Okay, so from a daily perspective, we could rally into the cloud, and if you look to the left, look at all these tails here, we could rally into this area. And I'll do sort of that. So what I'm doing is I'm just drawing a line on the top of the tails and the bottom of the tails here, which coincides with the flat cloud. See that? So more than likely what you'll see is a rally into this area before a bit of a pullback. And that pullback could come back to daily cadence in here. Okay, but from a daily perspective, this is flat. Okay, yes, it's very volatile, but it's flat, indicating range. Okay, and this cloud is pretty thick. So we haven't had a crossover, so there are no bullish signals on the daily at the moment. They are on the 4 hour, and they're definitely there on the hour. Okay, so let's drop down to the half hour. Another way of looking at where your stop should be is below Kijinsen here. So you pick a time frame, a low time frame, and just trail your stop below Kijinsen all the time. Okay, so yeah, to me it's looking a little bit tired. There may be a little bit of juice in it, but yeah, I would rather be safe than sorry and wait for a decent pullback. Okay, if it does rally this morning, although there's no conviction on the Dow, on the Dax at the moment, so I'm not 100% convinced of that, but I would definitely be watching this fractal, that break here. Break this fractal to the downside, that sets me up for a decent pullback. Don't know whether we're going to come all the way down here, but it is possible. I mean, look here, we had a massive breakaway candle, then it immediately came back all the way back down. Okay, so yeah, I think biases to the upside. I am fairly bullish. The question only is whether we're going to get a pullback here for me to get in. And I think for me, really, it is the 4 hour that's going to dictate what this trend is. And at this stage, it's standing straight up. Only thing that's concerning me is the oscillator here, which is grouped. That can stay grouped for a long time. Okay, awesome oscillators also just channeling up quite nicely. Okay, so that's kind of my view of this at the moment. Gonna have to, really gonna have to watch, watch these tails to the left here, because I think you could just rally a little bit more up to this area, then come back, and then we run away. Okay, so that's it. So if you are still long, well done. I would stay long, but I would really just move my stop up to this fractal level here and watch it from there. Okay, So if we do sort of form a base somewhere, it'd be a great opportunity to get long. And lastly, you can see this is a bit of a flag. It is forming. Okay, so there is a bit of a flag forming. So a break above or out of this and back and test would be something to watch for as well to get in long. Okay, anyway, guys, that's it for me today. Hope it helps, and I will catch up with you later. Cheers for now.